Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on Gainz the Clock. It's a Q&A series that I run for you every single Friday where we're covering all your questions. Today we got 10 competitor questions where we're talking about contest prep and all sorts of other things. I'm going to tell you all about it. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and then share out this video because I do this. I want to help more people. I want more people to see it. And when you share it, when you tell someone, even if it's just one person, you help me help more people. And that's what I want to do. So thank you so much for watching Gainz the Clock. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. Let's get it going. Not much to talk about other than these questions, so let's get right to it. Like I said, we got 10 questions. We're going to cover all types of competitions, all different divisions, some wellness, some bikini, some men's divisions, things like that are all in here today. So definitely make sure you watch it all the way through. Alright, let's start with question number 1. This is from Tammy. I continue to practice my posing, but I keep shaking on stage. What do you recommend? Tammy, this is actually a big problem that happens to most people, and what I say is, you know, I kind of had a word for it. I forget what I call it now. Dang it. There was some kind of rule that I made up where it was like, you got to get between 5 to 10 different shows under your belt before you even start to feel comfortable on stage, okay? And basically, I don't know what level you've been competing at. I don't know what you've been doing. But the shakes and things like that, they tend to go away the longer that you continue to do this. So what I suggest and what I recommend is continue to practice your posing as often as you can, obviously. You know, every day, practice your posing while you brush your teeth. But oftentimes when people get the shakes, it's a few things. You're nervous, for one, it's competition day. You're also excited, it's competition day. Number 3 is probably the biggest one. You're in front of a bunch of people wearing a bikini, or if you're in the men's divisions, trunks and things like that. Well, you can easily start posing in front of people in scenarios that would feel equally as awkward, like in the middle of the gym. And this is why I tell TeamFFLEX competitors to do, because I'm trying to get them ready for the stage. I say, you know what, pose between your sets. When you're in the middle of the gym and you just did pull downs, do a back pose, hold it for 30 seconds, that's your rest. You know what I mean? Stuff like this, because then everybody in the gym's looking at you and they're wondering what the hell you're doing, what's going on. It's very similar to being on stage in a lot of ways. So I would say 2 things about that. Practice your posing a ton, practice your posing in the gym, and I guess there's 3 things to say, because do more shows, get more time on stage. The more that you do this, the more comfortable you will get, and you'll be able to control these things, you know what I mean? It takes a lot of the ability to have been there and done it so many times that it feels like it's automatic, and then you don't have to get as nervous or excited as, you know, about it, and the shakes will drop. Hope that helps, Tammy. Alright, question number 2. I want to go pro. I already qualified for nationals. Should I continue to compete and get more stage time? Or should I improve until competition? This is from Victoria. Alright, so Victoria's asking, basically, she's already qualified for nationals. She's wondering if she can should continue to compete. You know, shoot for some overalls and things like that probably. Or if she should just go into her improvement season, go to nationals, basically, right? So I would say it depends on, you know, what your judge's feedback was, 100%. Hopefully you did a show that you did good at that qualified you for nationals, that was in front of some of the panel that might be at nationals, okay? We got a lot of them out there, Sandy Williamson, Joe Piscula, you know, we got a lot of these different national level judges that are out there, and they can give you some feedback that would be pretty directive in that. As a coach, what I would do automatically if I was coaching you, Victorious, I would say, alright, I'm going to get your feedback from one of these national level judges. I mean, if you were doing a TeamFFLEX show, one that I would suggest, it would have one of these types of judges there regardless, because I want that feedback from my competitors. But I would directly, as a coach, go get the feedback for you and be like, hey, you know what, this girl Victoria right here that I'm working with, she wants to go pro. What do you think? Should we do some more shows? Should we go to nationals? What's her feedback? What does she need to improve? And then depending on what was said to you then regarding your feedback, That's kind of how you can plan what's your next move. You know, if they say, hey, you know what, yeah, you need some serious muscle building, you did good here, but at the national level, it's a whole different level, you need to build your shoulders, your glutes, your, you know, whatever, then yeah, you probably need to take some time off. You need to, you know, improve. And if they say, you know what, yeah, you honestly should probably do a couple more shows and, you know, get your presentation, your posing really down and continue to do that, then you might go that route. So in reality, the answer to your question, even though I'm overcomplicating it for you, is to get your feedback and based on your feedback and make a decision on what is the best option for you. Hope that.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything.
Remember, we got 10 of these today. Please make sure you share it, you subscribe it. I'm competing in wellness, and I've seen some people talking about how your shoulders don't need to be super muscular. What is the balance for upper to lower body? Kelsey. All right, so wellness. This is a good question, actually, because I know a lot of people are conflicting about wellness right now, and they're seeing a lot of different stuff that people are putting out. Wellness in the upper body is very similar to bikini, okay? And what I'm talking about when I say very similar is very similar muscle shape, very similar muscle development, and very similar muscle conditioning, okay? We're talking about very similar to bikini when we're talking about the upper body. Lower body is where things get very different in wellness because the lower body is considerably more developed by a lot than it is in bikini, okay? So when you're looking at, talking about the muscularity and the shoulders, yeah, they don't need to be super muscular. You're not bringing figure type shoulders to wellness. You're not bringing women's physique type shoulders to wellness. You're supposed to be bringing pretty much bikini type shoulders with maybe just a smidge more development to wellness, okay? As far as showing striation and, you know, cuts and things like that, bad news bears for this division. Don't be doing that. You want to show the same level of conditioning that we see in bikini, which is no shoulder striations, but that nice round shape, all right? So that's basically what they want to see in wellness. The main difference for the upper to lower, it's actually pretty asymmetrical when we're talking about it. The symmetry-wise, it's different than it is in bikini and so on and so forth. The lower body is way more developed. It's going to be more developed than the upper body in wellness, so that's what you should know. All right, let's dive in. Question number 4, Ashley. Ashley says, I've spent the last 24 weeks on my first prep because my coach keeps telling me that I'm not ready to compete. Ooh. I am honestly feeling miserable at this point. Is this what it takes to get on stage? Oh, dang, Ashley, that is such a long time to be on prep. That's like an insane amount of time to be on prep. It is definitely not what it takes to compete, I'm going to say right out the gate. And I'm glad this question's in the mix today because this happens a lot, unfortunately. And especially, she says she's a first-time competitor, right? First prep, yeah. I spent these last 24 weeks on my first prep. This is the type of stuff that makes people never want to compete again right here, this kind of coaching practice. If you got a coach that's telling you for 24 weeks that you're not ready to step on stage, I'm assuming that you picked probably 2 or 3 shows by this point that you have been pushed back from. And that's just so unfortunate because this is not what it takes to get on stage. You really, if it was going to take you that long, you probably should have done an improvement phase first and then gone into more of a prep, you know, a 12 to 16 week prep. That's more normal, okay? Especially for a first timer, you don't need more than 12 to 16 weeks. It's your first show. You just got to get out there. And so I'm so against what you just said has happened to you, Ashley. It's actually crazy to me. And I really, really would strongly suggest that you look at getting a different coach, okay? As much as you might have already spent so much money, invested so much time and all this into whoever coach or team you're using, I would strongly suggest you reconsider that, you know, try to get a refund or even just lose the money at this point because at the end of the day, we're talking about now you being in prep that I don't know what kind of cardio they're having you do, I don't know what kind of dieting, I would assume it's extreme because you're saying you're miserable and it's been going on for so long. so they probably keep piling more and more on you. I would strongly suggest you got to move on, because that's going to affect your health and make it very, very, you could be potentially getting long-term problems from doing a prep of this style. So definitely suggest that you move on from that. It is not the normal. Try to get with a coach or a team that does not do that. They do sustainable practices like we do on TeamFFLEX. If you want help with this, anybody out here, if you've been through this type of stuff, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now and you can subscribe to our free trial, and we will help you get this sorted, help you get this right. I really hope you do that, Ashley, at the very least, because we'll help you no matter what, even if you already have a coach. We're totally down to help however we can. Go to TeamFFLEX.com and subscribe there. I'm loving these competitor questions today. Question number 5. This is from Megan. I'm 4 weeks out, and my coach has me doing 1 hour cardio in the morning and 1 hour cardio at night, on top of my training session that takes 2 hours. Is this too much? Whoa, these competitor questions today are pretty gnarly. This just gives me an idea of like all the same shit that was going on years ago when I started TeamFFLEX is still going on now. The reason I started with TeamFFLEX was to get rid of the norm of this kind of thing, and it just sucks to see that this is still going on. That's basically 4 hours a day working out, which is an insane amount for anybody. It doesn't even matter your division. I'm going to say right away that's too much, okay? That's way, way, way too much. I don't know if you're bikini. I don't know what you are. This could be even in the men's divisions. That'd be way too much. 2 hours cardio a day and 2 hours weights is too much. It's going to tax your body way too hard, and you're going to have all types of different hormones, metabolic problems, and things like that will come up eventually if they haven't already. You're probably already experiencing some of them now. It's just way too much, and it's totally unnecessary. If you're being coached the right way, you should not need to do any of that. You know what I mean? Like I've said in previous videos, and maybe you haven't seen it, so I'm going to say it again now. The goal on prep should always be able to do as much eating as you can, right? Have your calories be as high as they can for as long as they can, and to do as little cardio as possible, because when you start doing all these things, you start to really tax the body in negative ways. And if you want to avoid those things, you train hard and you eat right, and you can get a lot of great progress done. I would say for sure if you're doing 2 hours of weights, that's already pushing the limit of like how long you should be doing weights. And then, if we're talking about your cardio on top of that, it's just way too much. It's insane. You're going to run your body into the ground. So I definitely would say that's too much, Megan. I would strongly suggest getting away from that type of a prep practice. All right. Question number 6 is from Adam. I'm a classic physique competitor, and I've been looking at moving into bodybuilding. How do I know when I'm ready to do so? Really, Adam, the difference between classic physique and bodybuilding would be the level of muscularity and conditioning that you're going to see. So and mentally, you got to know that, hey, you're going to have to size up probably, and you're probably going to have to come in leaner than you ever have. And so if you're feeling good about that mentally, yeah, that's the first step, okay? The second step would then be looking at where you're at and seeing where you got to be, okay? Okay, here's what I've done previously. Here's where my physique is now. How much time do I need to actually spend building muscle to have the right amount of muscle to come into bodybuilding? So I would suggest you look at, first off, okay, you're for sure doing an improvement phase. You're not just going to be able to jump from classic into bodybuilding with no improvements to your physique, in other words, and then looking at how long that's going to take, what areas of your physique need to be improved. Is it the shoulders, the abs, the quads, whatever? What needs to be brought up before you go into bodybuilding? And that's going to be able to give you a pretty good timeline, an idea of how long it's going to take for you to be able to get ready to actually move into bodybuilding. So it's a physical and it's a mental kind of transition in your mind to understand these differences and where you're going to go. And once you get that down, it's all easy stuff from there, Adam. All right, question number 7. How does posing and wellness work for individual routines? From Sarah. Good question. So the posing and wellness is quarter turns and comparisons. All quarter turns, quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, right? And it's all to the right. We know this stuff. We've done a lot of content on this on TeamFFLEX Instagram. and you can check all that out. As far as the individual routines go, you can do pretty much your own variation of the poses. Like, you don't have to actually hit all these quarter turns in the individual routine. You can, but you are required to hit a front and back, and then anything else you want to do in there you can do. We're going to see some of the wellness girls coming out. I mean, we haven't seen a ton yet, but they're going to do all different variances to the routines because of the fact that you don't have to hit every quarter turn in there. But again, if you're a wellness competitor and you want to do the quarter turns, absolutely can do that in your individual routine as well. As far as how it's operated, it's basically the same as bikini. You know, you're going to come out, do your individual, you're off, short amount of time, 10-15 seconds to do so, and you're in call-outs, you're doing quarter turns. So those are the main differences with the wellness posing there. Hope that helps, Sarah. Alright fam, Gainz o'clock. We got 3 more questions to go. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe, please share. Alright, let's see. Question from Michelle. My coach has me on the same meal plan for the last 12 weeks. No cheat days, and no refeeds, and no breaks. I'm literally starting to gag at the thought of more chicken breast. What do you suggest? Honestly, I suggest a better coach. That would be my real suggestion. This seems to be the theme of today. Sorry for all of you out there that are experiencing these bad coaching practices. It's so unfortunate to hear this stuff, but what I would suggest is you definitely speak to your coach, okay? Talk to your coach, be transparent, tell them what's up. I'm assuming, honestly, if you're telling me this in an Instagram question box, that you've probably already talked to them and they said something like, this is what it takes, this is the process, just stick to the process. If they're saying that, go back to my first answer. Might consider getting a different coach, okay? Because like, this is just not gonna be a good practice for you. This is not a good thing to put your body through. You should not, put yourself in a spot where you're gonna gag at the thought of eating any food. I've talked about in past videos the healthy eating disorder that some people get on prep, both male and female, where literally they've been eating, chicken and broccoli and asparagus and brown rice on repeat so much that when the prep's over, at the end of this 12 weeks or whatever, when your show's done, you can't imagine eating anything else, and you almost get stuck eating the same stuff because you're concerned that if you eat something different, it's going to make you fat or you're going to gain weight and all that. That type of practice can very easily happen from doing this type of stuff, okay? Being stuck eating the same stuff all day, every day for 3 months, 4 months at a time is not good for your body mentally. It's not good for your body nutritionally. It's not good for a lot of things. It's very bad. You can actually develop food allergies to a lot of the foods if you're inundating it in your body that much through that short period of time. So I would definitely suggest talk to your coach, tell them that you need to change it. Hopefully they listen and change it. Like, for sure, if you're with a good coach, this shouldn't have happened anyway. So I'm already concerned that it's not going to change even when you bring this up. And in that scenario, you should really move on and get it with a different coach. I mean, sometimes on TeamFFLEX, when we build nutrition programs, our clients will message us and be like, hey, this isn't working the way I thought, this isn't what I like, I'm not liking it, and I change it within a minute. Like, literally that day, new plan, new program, and I'll change nutrition plans 1,000 times if I need to find the right one for the right person, and that's what any coach should be doing for you if they're qualified and they know what they're doing, okay? So that's something to definitely consider. All right. Question number 9, we got 2 more to go, fam. Thanks for being here. I'm on prep for my first men's physique show and really trying to figure out what my posing is going to look like. What tips do you have for me? Nick. All right, Nick. So Nick's diving in here about men's physique posing. Congrats on doing your first men's physique show. That's exciting, my friend. Posing-wise, I'll give you some tips because obviously you need to get a routine, you need to get a session, you need all that down. You know what I mean? Like, you got to work with a posing coach to get the poses down. Don't just YouTube it. But tips-wise, what I can say for sure in men's physique right now is there has been some changes to the posing, some stuff they want to see different. Back pose is one of them. A lot of guys were getting their arms up way too high, just bringing their arms way, way up when they're in their their back pose, and that kind of made them, bring this T shape. That actually narrows the lats out, okay? And so anybody watching, if you're men's physique, they want to see your pose actually drop in more, so they want to see you draw the lats down, elbows are going to be lower, and with that, they get more of that lat shape. So that's one tip that's super big. And then the other tip that I would suggest is figuring out your front pose in a way that you can square your shoulders forward. So really rotate your chest forward, bring your shoulders out, bring that width, because the V taper in this men's physique division is everything when it comes to the pose. That's what they want to see in the back, that's what they want to see in the front. Again, they're not looking at your legs so much, obviously, so they're looking at the upper body, and with that, they want to see the V taper shape. So the more you can rotate your hips one way and rotate your shoulders the other way and square them up to the judges, the more of that taper look you're going to get. Those would be my tips for posing. Make sure you work with a coach. Make sure you're not trying to YouTube this shit on your own in your house, and continue to practice. This is your first show, so go out there, have a good time, present yourself, and be proud of what you brought. But make sure that you feel confident when you come to stage, because that's going to make all the difference for stage day and your whole process leading up to it. Last question, fam. Let's go. Question number 10. This is from Rebecca. I've just completed my last competition, and I'm not sure if I should go into an off season or do another competition. Any tips for deciding? This is a good question. It's almost like one of them we already had today, though. I forget. But basically what you got to do is go off your feedback. For a long answer, that could be a long answer, shorten it up, go off your feedback. So really you got to know, hey, what was your feedback? How did the last show go, for one, right? Did you do good? Did you not do good? What did the judges say? And then you got to decide from there, well, should you move forward? The judges will tell you, right? They're going to tell you what they know. They obviously don't know the training. They don't know the nutrition like the coaches do. But they can tell you what needs to be done, and then you can relay that information to your coach, and they will be able to tell you what needs to be done then, right? So, for example, if you get some feedback from a judge that says, yeah, you were great, you need to build your shoulders or your legs more. We know already building muscle takes time. You can't just jump into another show in 2 weeks and have built muscle between. Doesn't work, okay? So if that's your feedback, building muscle and stuff, obviously talk to your coach, but I would suggest you have to take some time off. You're going to have to build some muscle. You're going to have to actually go build in an improvement season type phase before you do another show. So in that scenario, you would wait to do another show. And then let's say your feedback was maybe just something like conditioning, or was posing, or was presentation, something like that. Well, if your feedback's conditioning, you can always get a little bit leaner. That's not that hard. You can drag out a few more weeks, 2-4 weeks, and you'd be able to come into a show leaner than you were, and that might be what you need to place higher or to do whatever, right? So with that, you got to look at the feedback, and you got to understand what the practice is behind that and how you can fix that. If it's tweaks like posing, presentation, very easy to fix in a very short amount of time. Muscle building and things like that are an entirely different thing you got to look at, and especially if you get feedback from a judge that says you might be better fit for a different division. Well, now you got to look at a different division and see what it's going to take to do that, and see what you got to do to get there. There's a whole process. So really, Rebecca, what you got to do is take your feedback. That's going to help you decide. Tell your coach. Your coach will help you decide what needs to be done, how long it's going to take, and when you can get on stage again. Alright, fam, thanks for watching today. Gainz the Clock, I appreciate you being here. I hope you got something out of this today. Share the video out for me, please. Subscribe to the channel. And anybody who needs help with their training at all, like this was a lot of competition stuff today. Awesome questions. I love it. Thank you. Keep it coming. If you need help with your training, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now. Drop your email in that pop-up, and we'll get you in our coaching app. Same app we use to coach all the amateurs and pros that have great success over the years. We're going to get you in there for free. You don't have to pay anything. It's totally free. So if you're a serious competitor, if you seriously came and asked me these questions, and you want more, you want the next level, you want to learn some more stuff, go over there. Anybody watching, you can do this anytime you want. TeamFFLEX.com. Put your email in. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. This is Gainz the Clock. I'll be back next week for all 5 shows. That's why you should subscribe to the damn channel. Thanks for watching. Coach Rye is out.